It's Thursday, 6 p.m. So you know what time it is. It's time for TDOC Talks. Hi, I'm Nasa Taylor, Director of Communications for the Tennessee Department of Correction. And I have with me today Lee Dodson, our Chief Interdiction Officer, and Donna Turner, the Director of OIC. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so I'm sure you guys all saw the press release and the big announcement we had last week over at West Tennessee about the Honor the Oath program. We're going to give you a little background about that, about our contraband interdiction efforts, and what all TDOC is doing to actually combat contraband in our prisons. So let's just kick it off with the number one question that we always get. Why is contraband a bad thing? Why are cell phones a bad thing inside of our prisons?
Well, we know that contraband is a problem all across the country. It's not just a problem here in Tennessee. And the issue with cell phones is that the inmates use the cell phones to continue their illegal activities that they may have started on the outside, to continue those activities on the inside, or to start new activities as far as illegality is concerned on the inside. Those cell phones are also used to intimidate witnesses, threaten witnesses, threaten victims. They're used to threaten our staff. Not to mention, at times, they're used to put hits out on staff and other folks. So it's just, that's the driving force for all the contraband, really a lot of it that we see in the facilities, is the possession and use of that cell phone. A lot of the cell phones that we recover are related to gang activity. So it's a problem, again, not just here, but all over the country.
So it sounds like it's a significant problem and affects public safety.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Donna, I know with your division, a lot of cell searches, a lot of contraband interdiction efforts, a lot of proactive searches. Tell me how your team's actually helping to stop the flow of contraband.
NASA, of course, obviously we work closely with Lee, who has the K-9s and the agents that go out. We work not only in the facilities, around the facilities, but also in the communities. And what we do is we get with our other law enforcement partners, especially local, state, and federal agencies, and help get that information back out. We have a program where we have a kiosk that we can download phones lifetime in each of the facilities. It was a grant that only TDOC is the only Department of Corrections in the nation that has that, and it was a starter grant. And so we're being able to use that and get that intel. And recently we were working an operation at a facility, was downloading those as we're searching cells to keep the contraband out, and it actually made a connection to a robbery that had happened in one of our cities in West Tennessee. So we were able to push that information out. So we know that will help keep the community safe as well. But the communication, it's not like these folks are calling mom and dad to check in on their children and to check in on mom and dad and their grandmother and ailing people. That's not it. Those phones are available, and those inmates that are wanting to go by the rules and do that, those are the ones that are using those phones that are provided. It's a safer domain for not only the families but the inmates. The ones that are using the cell phones are the same ones that we have problems with, that are trying to circumvent the things that we have in place for them to do their deeds that are not worthy of us, our safety. So, and it's also safe for the other inmates. It becomes a way to make money in the facilities, and also is used in extortions and those type of things to other family members that are unknowingly out here in the community and wanting to worry about their family member that's in our facilities. So it's just an all-around problem that we have, but it affects everyone, not just the inmates and not just the staff.
So you both have talked about these partnerships with local agencies, because it sounds like it's more than just a problem inside the facility, it's a problem that's actually into the community as well. Mm-hmm. So is it contraband, should people really think about that as just criminal enterprising and think about it that way?
No, not at all. Our facilities are mirror images of the communities. I mean, we've heard that time and time again. If there's an issue with a certain drug, mixture that's being sold out on the street, we see folks trying to introduce that into the facilities as well. So what's going on, again, what's going on in the facility is going on in the community. If we can have a positive impact through the efforts of, that Donna and the Office of Investigations and Compliance, her agents, strike force, those folks, the facilities working, with us. If we can make a positive impact inside the facility, that's going to transfer out into the community. And likewise, when the OIC agents or folks that I work with come in contact with some intel or have an opportunity to share that intel with our partners on the outside, just like Donna said with the information that was on the cell phone that they were able to pass out. When we can share that information with our partners out in the community with regard to sources of contraband, those people that are supplying the contraband into the facility are the same folks that are slinging dope on the street. So it just like you said earlier, it all comes back to public safety. And we know that, I mean, that is paramount. That is a huge part of our mission, is ensuring public safety.
Awesome. So last week we had this big announcement about some indictments out of Northwest and also the honor the oath. Donna, would you just walk us through kind of the indictments and how all that came to be? And then Lee, if you could piggyback on that with the honor the oath campaign, just give us an update on that.
Sure.
Well, the agents, they did a tremendous job in getting those cases and putting them together and working with the U.S. Attorney in the Western District. We were able to take those cases. It's not like just an arrest that you would have, but it takes a length of time. There's a lot of work that goes into that, intel and working that. And these were people, correctional officers, that had taken the oath that Lee will talk about. They tarnish the badge, and there's absolutely no tolerance for it. It's absolutely, we have so many tremendous employees that do such a great job, a tough job. And I'm telling you, what they do day in and day out, it keeps us motivated to keep those bad elements out. And those few people, and these are just 4 examples of that, that's not an example of what we represent in TDOC, but it was other employees that helped us, that want to help us weed that out, and we just want to celebrate that. And so that's what this new program is that just to uplift them. The ones that are doing good, that's who we want to support. But we are not just, they're not going to just be unemployed when they decide to bring things in. We're going to seek them out in the community, and we're going to arrest them. So that may be the first stage, is for them to be unemployed with us when they're caught, and especially the efforts that we're doing to stop that. But we're going to carry it further and send that message, and we're hoping that will resonate through all of our facilities and to all of our officers, and really support the ones that are doing a tremendous job.
Great. So Lee, you're going to kind of walk us through this whole honor the oath?
Sure. Well, like to piggyback onto what Donna said, the honor the oath program, we know that day in and day out, correctional employees across the nation, but especially here in Tennessee, perform their duties with professionalism, and they're going into an environment where few people have the strength to tread. With that, though, we do know that at times folks may waver with regard to integrity, and we know that they may not follow the oath to the letter. And that creates an issue. And it, again, just like the contraband issues that are created, it's an overall public safety issue. Folks think that when they violate the terms of their oath, that it only has an effect on them. You know, they feel like maybe that they're only placing themselves in jeopardy of legal action. We know that's not the case. It's much farther reaching than that. It reaches outside the walls of the prison. It's not just the correctional officer or the employee, the volunteer, the contractor that may waver. That's affected. It affects their family members. Their co-workers are placed in jeopardy. The inmates are placed in jeopardy. The public in general are placed in jeopardy, and not to mention the security of the facility. So what we were looking at is we wanted, again, like Donna said, we want to celebrate those folks that are doing the right thing. And those officers that were involved in helping make those arrests, I mean, those folks need to be recognized, and that's part of this. Just like she said, at the same time, we want to make sure that we give them everything they need to be able to succeed. So we are revamping our integrity training programs. We're going out, we've started doing integrity briefings at some of the facilities. But with that too, we're giving these folks the tools to succeed, and we're letting them know what's expected of them. This is a big job. You know, being a correctional officer or working in the correctional field, there's a lot of responsibility that a lot of people don't understand, but we want to make sure that we're giving them everything that they need to succeed, and we're going to support them 100% in their endeavors. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that they have the tools that they need and that they're safe. But if you waver and you violate the terms of the oath, the commissioner has said it, Donna has said it, I have said it, we are going to use every tool that's available to us. And we're going to make sure that folks that violate that oath, that violate the law, are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And that's going to be whether that venue that's chosen might be state court, or it might be in the federal system, where there's no probation and parole in the federal system. There's no pretrial diversion. If you're convicted in the federal system, you're going to prison. And we want to make sure that folks know that. It won't be tolerated. I mean, in the department, the commissioner said it, we have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to the introduction of contraband into the facilities and any other activity that may threaten the safety and security of the facilities and the safety and security of the public.
So it sounds like not only is this a huge issue across the nation, but TDOC is really being forward thinking and trying to combat this issue.
Absolutely.
Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And us being proactive in what we do, we want it to become just something that just catches on. It becomes a snowball effect across the whole state and out into the communities. Because when we're helping to keep those communities safe, the people that come in and visit, the thousands of people across, every weekend that come in and visit the inmates, they deserve a safe place to come and visit those family members. And to also a sober inmate is one that can learn a trade. They can go to school, they can do something better while they are confined to prison. And by reducing that, we think the odds will be better that we're going to be successful in that.
Okay, so if you're out in the community and you know of some contraband, who should you call, who should you contact?
Easiest thing is the tip line is 844 TDC-FIND. That number's monitored 24 hours a day, or it's answered 24 hours a day by your staff, and your staff will in turn provide that information to the Office of Investigations and Compliance and myself, and then we'll get together and work on the information that's received. If it's necessary to pass that information on out into the community to one of our law enforcement partners, if it's something that may not fall within the purview or the jurisdiction of OIC, we share that information so that it's actionable and that they can take that information and act on it as soon as possible. We don't always just get information relative to to TDOC issues or to our facilities. We receive information and tips from the public regarding facilities that are managed by county, by the counties, the county jails. So I mean, it's an important tool that's available to the public, and we would encourage the folks to use that 844 TDC-FIND number.
Awesome. Any final words from either of you?
We just appreciate you helping us getting the word out. Communication is the key, and so we just want them. And like Lee was saying, if you don't feel comfortable calling us in Nashville or on the tip line and want to talk to somebody directly, go to your local agency, go to your local police department, sheriff's office, TBI, anybody that you trust, THP. Give it to them, and they know how to get a hold of us. And so we just want the information and encourage them to do that. And so we just appreciate you coming out and helping us launch this new campaign that we've got, and certainly we want to do everything we can do.
Okay, well, cool. Well, thank you for watching tonight. As you've heard here, Honor the Oath is a new campaign sweeping across TDOC. So to the thousands of officers who are out there doing the right thing, thank you so much. And as Commissioner Parker says, to those few that are misbehaving, we will find you and we'll prosecute you fully. So if you have any information you want to give us, reach out to us at 1-844-TDC-FIND, and we'll catch you here next Thursday.